We've all done the quick trip. You walk in with a short list. The basket feels harmless, and in your head, you're already saying the line you'll tell the cashier, just these. Then you blink. There's a second bag, a longer receipt, and a couple items you genuinely don't remember deciding on. Most people blame willpower, or inflation, or bad impulse control. But the truth is simpler and more uncomfortable. That moment is engineered. Modern stores are built to make spending feel effortless. And effortless is exactly where budgets quietly leak. So, in this video, we're going to slow the whole machine down. We'll expose the tiny nudges that steer your hands and your cart. And I'll give you a simple set of rules that keeps your total from running away, even when the store is trying to make you forget what you came for. Let's get into it. Number 10, the tiny package tax. The first trap does not look like a trap because it is wrapped in comfort. You see smaller packages and your brain relaxes. It feels like you are buying just enough, like you are being reasonable, like you are avoiding waste. That feeling is not an accident. Smaller items make it easier to say yes without thinking. A shelf full of tidy little boxes makes the price feel gentle because the number on the tag is small, but the number on the tag is only half the story. What matters is the cost per ounce, the cost per gram, the cost per serving, and whether it actually feeds you or only entertains you. This is how it plays out in real life. You grab a quick snack because it is only a few dollars. Then you add a backup snack because it is also only a few dollars. Then a dip jumps in because snacks want a partner. Then a drink slides in because salty foods make you thirsty. Nothing feels like a decision worth debating, and that is why it adds up. The fix is not to become a calculator person. The fix is to choose one moment in the trip where you slow down and do one simple comparison. Pick one category you often overbuy, snacks, sauces, drinks, and compare two items by unit. If the smaller one costs more per unit, you have found the tiny package tax. Sometimes you still pay it because you truly want the convenience, and that is fine. The win is noticing when convenience is quietly charging interest. Use this rule if you want it even simpler. When an item is small and feels harmless, treat it as suspicious until you can explain where it fits. If you cannot name the meal or the moment it belongs to, it is probably a nibble purchase that multiplies. Once you start seeing the tiny package tax, you will notice a bigger pressure that does not come from packaging at all. It comes from urgency, from the fear that if you do not grab it now, you will miss it. Number 9, the limited time fever. It begins with a display that looks like a celebration. Bright colors, seasonal themes, little signs that whisper, this is the moment. You did not come in for it, but it is placed so perfectly that it feels like it came in for you. When something is framed as temporary, your brain stops asking, do I need this? And starts asking, will I regret not getting this? That switch is subtle, but it changes your cart fast. You start buying with imagination instead of a plan. You picture the gathering you might host, the cozy night you might have, the weekend version of yourself that always cooks, and you shop for that person. Sometimes the limited time items are genuinely great. Sometimes they become favorites. The trap is not that seasonal products exist. The trap is that they turn your normal rules off. Staples start to feel boring, and the new thing starts to feel like the point of the trip. That is why people walk out with 3 fun items and realize they forgot the protein they actually needed. So give yourself a quota. 1 seasonal item per trip. Not because you are punishing yourself, but because you are protecting the basics. If you truly love seasonal browsing, treat it as its own mini event with its own budget. When it blends into the normal groceries trip, it becomes hard to track. Also, pay attention to the language. Words like limited, back soon, once a year, new, last chance. Those are not facts about your needs. They are prompts designed to make you act before you think. The best response is to treat them like weather. Notice them, but do not let them drive the car. That limited feeling does not vanish after you walk past the display. It follows you and quietly speeds up every decision you make next. Number 8, the snack spiral. You did not plan to build a pantry of treats. You plan to buy food, but there is a zone where everything is pre-portioned, pre-flavored, and pre-approved by your imagination. It feels like solving your week in one sweep. Something crunchy, something sweet, something spicy, something for later. This is where budgets melt because decisions feel fun. A snack is not a commitment. You do not have to picture cooking it, timing it, or cleaning up after it. You picture opening it. That ease is real value, but it becomes a trap when you stack ease on top of ease and call it smart shopping. Watch the pattern. One snack you love becomes 2 snacks, for variety. Then a third because you have never tried it. Then a dip because snacks want a partner. Then a fizzy drink because salty foods make you thirsty. The cart becomes a mood board. The receipt becomes the bill. This store is especially good at selling snacks that feel like they belong in a health routine. Words like protein, plant-based, made with vegetables, gluten-free. Those words can be true and still mislead your expectations. Some of these snacks are basically starch and oil in a confident outfit. You only discover that when you flip the label. The move is to pick snacks by roll, not impulse. Decide before you arrive that you will choose one salty snack, one sweet snack, and one snack that actually handles hunger, something with real protein and fiber. That is it. If you want to try something new, it replaces one of those rolls instead of adding a fourth. A second move is even simpler. Ask whether you would be happy if it became your default desk snack for 2 weeks. If the answer is no, it does not deserve a big spot in your cart. Once snacks stop running the trip, a quieter trick shows up. It is not craving, it is trust. Some packaging feels honest before you even read a word, and that feeling makes people stop checking. Now, be honest for a second. Which part of the trip quietly adds the most to your total? The snacks, the seasonal stuff, or the last-minute grabs? I am curious, so leave it in the comments. If this is helping you see the store a little differently, hit like so I know this style is useful, and subscribe if you want more videos that break things down without scare tactics or guilt. Just simple systems that make shopping easier. Number 7, the friendly label effect. There is a kind of design that makes you feel safe. It is simple, playful, almost like the product is a friend. You feel like you are shopping with a neighbor, not a corporation. That charm is part of the brand. And charm can be a useful disguise. When packaging feels trustworthy, many people stop reading carefully. They assume the product is what it looks like. They assume it will be better than loud, glossy national brands. Sometimes that is true. Often the ingredient lists are surprisingly straightforward. But guessing based on vibes is still guessing. And guessing is expensive. Here is the rule that keeps you grounded without turning the trip into homework. The front is a story. The back is the contract. If the ingredient list reads like a paragraph, or if you see a long chain of additives, it does not automatically mean the product is bad. It does mean it is doing more processing work for you. Processing can make food safer and more stable. It can also make food easier to overeat and harder to understand. Pick one personal red flag to scan for every trip. Added sugar, sodium, artificial sweeteners, whatever matters to you. The exact choice is personal, but the habit is universal. Choose one thing and look for it. That single habit turns you into an informed shopper in about 3 seconds. Also, watch the serving size trick. A product can look tame on the nutrition panel because the serving size is tiny and almost nobody eats that little. If you know you will eat double, read the numbers as double. That is not paranoia, it is honesty. When you start reading again, you will notice the part of the store where labels matter less than time. It looks healthy, it feels virtuous, and then it disappears in your refrigerator before you get to enjoy it. Number 6, the fast spoil trap. It is easy to feel proud when you buy fresh produce. Your basket looks like good intentions. Your future self looks like a person who definitely makes salads, definitely uses herbs, definitely blends smoothies. Then the week happens. The problem is not that fresh items are a bad idea. The problem is that some items are priced and packaged in a way that assumes your life is calmer than it is. A bag of greens looks like a deal until you throw half of it away. A box of berries feels like a treat until it turns to mush. A bundle of herbs feels like the start of great cooking until it becomes a wilted apology. This trap is sneaky because it makes you blame yourself. You say you should have planned better, but you do not control surprise meetings, tired evenings, and the reality that some produce declines quickly once it has been handled, packaged, and moved through a supply chain. Some produce is simply fragile, so attach fragile produce to a 48-hour plan. If it spoils fast, only buy it if you can name the meal you will make with it within 2 days. Not this week, not soon, not I could. Name the meal. If you cannot, choose a more stable version, heartier vegetables, frozen options, or produce that lasts. Here is a trick that makes the plan stick. Whenever you buy a fast spoil item, also buy the thing that forces you to use it. If you buy greens, also buy the protein you will put on top. If you buy berries, also buy the yogurt or oats they go with. You are not adding cost, you are reducing waste. And once waste drops, something surprising happens. You stop needing extra snacks to fill the gap. real meals show up more often. There is one section that can help you do that because it protects you from spoilage. It can also become a different kind of trap if you treat it like entertainment instead of support. Number 5. The cold door deal. Behind a glass door, convenience looks like discipline. Food that lasts, food that is ready, food that turns a tired evening into a meal without effort. For a lot of people, this is where the store feels like a life hack. Frozen food can be a smart move because it protects you from that fast spoil problem. It lets you plan less perfectly and still eat well. It can also be where you build a freezer full of fun dinners and fun desserts that get eaten like they are normal meals. The line between convenience and indulgence gets blurry fast. The trick is not to avoid frozen. The trick is to define what frozen is for. If you treat it like an emergency tool, it keeps you steady. If you treat it like entertainment, it can quietly inflate your spending and your appetite because it makes extra portions feel effortless. Use a simple limit: 2 frozen items that are clearly meals, and 1 frozen item that is purely for fun. If you go beyond that, you are not stocking up, you are collecting. Also, watch for bundle drift. You buy dumplings and tell yourself it is dinner. Then you buy a sauce because dumplings want sauce. Then you buy a side because dinner wants a side. 1 item becomes 3. To stop that, ask what you already have at home that completes it: rice, vegetables, a simple salad. Let the freezer item be the star, not the beginning of a chain reaction. If you do frozen this way, you will save money and still feel cared for on hard days. But even with frozen under control, a newer spell stays active. It is not hunger. It is curiosity. It is the sense that you are always one new product away from upgrading your whole week. Number 4, the new item loop. You're not wrong for wanting to try new things. New is fun. New is social. New is an easy way to treat yourself without buying something huge. This store is unusually good at making new feel safe, like you can experiment without regret. But new items have a hidden cost that is not on the shelf tag. They create duplicates. You buy a new sauce, but you keep your old sauce because you are not sure. You buy a new snack, but you still buy your usual snack because you want a backup. You buy a new dinner item, but you still buy the familiar one because you do not want to risk disappointment. Suddenly, experimenting has doubled your cart. There is also a psychological trick at work. When you buy something new, you get a small hit of novelty, the feeling that you are moving forward. If you are stressed, bored, or simply tired of routine, a new product feels like progress. The store does not need to pressure you. It only needs to keep a steady stream of "maybe this will be great" in front of you, and your brain does the rest. So make novelty follow a rule. New must replace. If you buy a new snack, it replaces your usual snack for that week. If you buy a new sauce, it replaces the sauce you already have. This turns experimenting into a swap instead of an addition. You can make it even easier with one question: where will it go? What meal? What lunch? What night? If you cannot place it, it is not really new, it is just clutter. Newness feels harmless until you realize it often sneaks in wearing a better-for-you disguise, the kind that makes you stop questioning. Number 3, the health halo trap. Some products seem designed to quiet your inner critic. They look clean, they sound balanced, and they promise to be the responsible version of something you already like. Sometimes they truly are a better option. Sometimes they are just a better story. The health halo works when packaging uses cues that signal wellness: organic, plant-based, natural, gluten-free, made with, no artificial. Those phrases can be meaningful, but they are not the same as low sugar, high fiber, or moderate sodium. The only way to know is to look. Here is a grounded way to handle it without becoming extreme. Pick 2 label numbers that matter to you and scan them every time you buy a snack. For many people, those 2 are added sugar and sodium. If a healthy snack has more sugar than you expected, or if the sodium is surprisingly high, you have learned what it really is. It may still be delicious. It may still be worth buying, but you should treat it as a treat, not a staple. The other trick is speed. Halo snacks are often bite-sized, crunchy, sweet, or light. That makes them disappear. A bag that feels like 2 servings becomes 1 serving in your hands, which makes the nutrition panel feel like a polite suggestion. So name the roll out loud in your head. If it is a treat, call it a treat. Put it in your one fun slot. Do not let it hide inside your "I am being healthy" slot, because that is how you end up buying 3 treats and telling yourself they were responsible. Once the halo fades, the trip becomes quieter, and that is when the most expensive yes happens. Not because you want it, but because you are tired. When your brain is tired, the smallest yeses feel like relief. Number 2, the last-minute add-on. By the time you reach the final stretch, you have made dozens of little choices. You compared labels, you remembered half your list, you navigated crowds, and you held the whole trip in your head. That mental effort is real. And when your brain is tired, it looks for relief. This is where small items become dangerous. They are right there, they look cute, and they are cheap enough to feel like they do not matter. One little chocolate, one little mini bag, one little seasonal bite. It is almost never one. The reason is simple. When you are about to leave, you stop thinking in meals and start thinking in impulses. You are no longer asking, "What will we eat this week?" You are asking, "What would be nice right now?" So treat the final stretch like a finish line. You do not add new decisions at the finish line. You confirm what you already chose. If you truly want a small treat, it has to be planned earlier as your one fun item. Otherwise, you are buying based on fatigue, not desire. A second move is even simpler. Keep your list open on your phone while you check out. Not because you need the list anymore, but because it anchors your attention. Your eyes stay on what you intended to do, not on what is offered to you in the moment. And if you can protect yourself at the very end, you can protect yourself anywhere. Because now you are ready for the one structure that makes every choice compete. Number 1, the 6-slot cart plan. Most people overspend because they shop by wandering. Wandering is fun, but it is not a plan. A plan is not a strict list that makes you miserable. A plan is a simple structure that forces your choices to compete with each other. Here is the structure. 6 slots. 1 protein, 2 vegetables, 1 carbohydrate, 1 flavor builder, 1 fun item. Protein is your anchor. It can be eggs, chicken, tofu, beans, yogurt, anything that makes meals feel real. 2 vegetables is your balance. 1 can be fresh and 1 can be frozen. Or both can be fresh if you truly plan to. Use them quickly. Carbohydrate is your steady base. Rice, pasta, bread, potatoes, something simple that carries meals. Flavor builder is what keeps you from ordering takeout. Sauce, spice, broth, something that makes the same ingredients taste different. Fun item is your permission. The thing you buy because it makes you happy, not because it is practical. The point is not that you only buy 6 things. The point is that everything you buy must fit into one of those slots. If you want a second snack, it has to replace your fun item, or it has to replace your flavor builder. Now, your impulses have to negotiate with your priorities. That negotiation is where money is saved without joy being crushed. This structure also makes the trip faster. You stop scanning every shelf for a feeling, and you start scanning for a role. The store can still surprise you, but it stops owning your decisions. If you want one extra rule, do this when you get home. Assign everything to a day in your head. Not a strict schedule, just a rough map. If you cannot imagine when an item gets used, it probably did not deserve the slot. You can enjoy the charm and still walk out with a receipt that makes sense. You do not have to stop shopping here, you just have to stop letting the store decide for you. Try one rule on your next trip, and pay attention to the exact moment your cart starts filling on autopilot. Which item or section gets you almost every time? Leave that in the comments, because patterns are easier to break when you name them. If this helped you shop with more intention instead of guilt, like the video, so I keep making breakdowns like this. And subscribe if you want practical rules that actually hold up in real life.